Welcome to Taskforce Geek. I am joined today with Scott, and our guest is Tony Radford, who is the event coordinator for Twisted Lords Con. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Nice to see you guys.
Tell us a little bit about what your background is in gaming and what led up to this convention for you.
Background in gaming. Let's see. Of course, when the first video games came out, I was always popping quarters into those machines. But then the consoles came out. I got playing on those, like the old ColecoVision. I even have an old Intellivision still buried in my storage locker, along with almost every single game they came out with, along with the voice modulator. So
right.
It's kind of neat that Amico is actually coming out with a new Intellivision. But I got introduced to Dungeons and Dragons while I was at junior high.
We just talked about Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, and it went from there. Got involved in Battletech, Shadowrun, GURPS, Gamma World. I mean, I've gotten into a little bit of Pathfinder, a little bit of Starfinder, and then the world of tabletop wargaming. Started out with Battletech, but I got introduced to Warhammer 40K. There's a bad story behind that. If we have time, I'll tell you. But if we don't have time, I understand. But they also introduced me into Blood Bowl, which even though I get my rear end kicked on a regular basis, and Scott can attest to that because the dice hate me, I still play the game. I still enjoy it. For me getting involved with the convention, one of the guys that I used to work for, he was a captain in the Air Force, and I was Master Sergeant working for him. He put together the Warlord Games Open Games Day here within Oklahoma City. And he ran his first one without me. And I went in there, I saw what was going on. I said, "You need an organizer." And he says, "Yep, I need a Master Sergeant." So boom, I was kind of hired right there on the spot. And I've helped him run every single one pretty much since then. Twisted Lords Con came about.
How far back does that go?
This is actually our 7th year.
Okay.
Even though this is Twisted Lords Con 2, what happened was the gentleman that was running Twister Con, because there was Twister Con, Sooner Con, there was us with Warlord Games Open Games Day. The gentleman that ran Twisted Lords, due to medical issues, he had to move to a more arid climate. You know how allergies are here within Oklahoma; they don't quite agree with everybody.
Oh,
so John said,
"Hey."
So John said, "Hey, we'll take that one over." So what we did is we took all his contacts, people that he knew, combined the two together. So that's why we are now Twisted Lords, and this is our 2nd year.
Nice.
Cool.
So Tony, I want to ask you, as a gamer who might not know, what games are what's on the schedule? It's this weekend, correct?
It's this weekend coming up. Yes, the 24th, 25th, 26th. We actually get in there on Thursday to get things set up.
Okay.
What our convention is, it is a tabletop gaming convention. So there's not going to be any video games. We don't have any card games in there right now either. But what it is we bring all of the armies. We bring the miniatures. We bring the terrain. We bring the dice. All you have to do is bring your desire to game and maybe try something new. We have games that range anywhere. It's wargaming that ranges anywhere from the time of the Romans versus the Egyptians, all the way up to futuristic, which is Gates of Antares. Most of the stuff is from Warlord Games, but we do have some other things that are in there. We have a group that's bringing in their team, running Team Yankee demos. We've got Mike Gomez. He has the old Avalon Hill game Circus Maximus, and he has it in 28 millimeter.
Wow!
So this is a huge table. He's got it set where you can have 12 people on there, and you're running chariots around the Coliseum. He's actually got the board built up to look like the Coliseum. And that's always really a great draw.
So you guys are providing all the games, but if let's say me and my friends are interested, can we bring our own games, or would you discourage that to try something new?
Well, we would recommend that you come up there and try something new because, if you have your own games that you're wanting to play, of course, I would say that you probably either play there at your house or go to one of the local gaming stores to play the game there. Whereas, of course, we're charging an entry fee because of what we're hosting there and having people come in and everything. So we've got to pay for the hall that we're renting. What we're offering is hopefully something new for you to try. For instance, Scott, what we'd like, or what I would like to have, if you could have done it, is your wrestling game that I've seen you talk about and post on there at Wizards Asylum. Would love to have had you come up and actually read demos of that if you had the time.
Right.
Well, if we can't get you this year, maybe we can get you next year at Twisted Lords 3.
Well, as you know, there's a lot of different things going on in the world, current state in the world. So how have you guys prepared for the disease we cannot name on YouTube? Have you like kind of prepared for that for your guests?
For that, we in advance of what came down by the decisions made by the folks here in Oklahoma City, we've already put mask requirements in place.
Awesome.
We've also made sure that our tables are more distanced, so that way if people are playing a game, they're not sitting on top of each other. For our bolt action tournament, which is usually our big draw, usually we'd have 40 people come down. We're a little bit less numbers this year, of course, because with all that's going on. But we're making sure that even if we did have those 40 show up, we would have plenty of spacing so no one is sitting right on top of each other. We will also have hand sanitizer there. We also have gloves there in case people want them. For our bolt action tournament players, we told them that, hey, they got to bring 2 sets of dice, so that way no one is touching someone else's dice to risk to lessen any chances of anything getting cross contamination, that type thing. So we're doing what we can to lessen the chance of anything happening.
Sure.
Do you have any idea how many people are going to be showing up this year versus other years or anything?
Well, every year we've gained a little bit more people. Last year we had like 125. This year,
that's pretty good.
Because of what's going on, we're probably not going to hit that number we would like to. What we were kind of hoping is because a lot of your major conventions, we've seen they've shut down. They've said, sorry, we're not going to, we can't do it. Those conventions, of course, attract anywhere from 3,000 to 20,000 people. So they really can't, it's really hard for them to sit there and say, okay, how are we going to socially distance everybody? We've got over 9,000 square feet and we've put a cap on 200 people. If we get 200 people in the hall, then we're putting a stop there saying, nope, sorry, we can't let anyone else in. So that way we make sure we don't get it too crowded and have people on top of each other. Also, one of the things we have gotten hold of one of those, the scanning thermometers that, people can, from a distance to make sure that, we can get your temperature before you come up. And if you're running a fever, unfortunately, we're going to have to turn you away to go back. So sorry, can't risk it.
Well, it sounds like you guys are prepared, and big props to you guys for just taking on all that responsibility soldiering on. But really, I know 125 people is a lot, but not for this amount of space you're talking about. And if everybody wears masks, like you're saying, if you would like to get out of your house,
that's what we're hoping
and do it safely, get your temperature checked and everything else. Twisted Lord Cons might be the way to go. What's the cost to get in? Pre-registration
cost was $15 a day or $30 for the entire weekend, which would have got you in Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
That's cheap.
I believe the cost is not going to be, if you go to the door, unfortunately, I think the cost is going to be $20 a day. We might still be able to do that. If you come in, like, say, Friday, and you say, hey, I'm going to go and do the weekend, we can probably do like $35. I'll do this, okay? If you come in and you say that you mentioned that you saw me on the Taskforce Geek video, I will give you the pre-registration price. So if you come in on Saturday and say, hey, I saw your video on Taskforce Geek, I will only charge you $15 to get into the door.
That's pretty sweet.
That's pretty awesome. For $15, you can get entertained from what time does it start and what time does it end?
Normally starts about 8 o'clock in the morning, and we have sessions that run until midnight.
Wow.
So the last session actually starts up at 8 p.m. and closes off at midnight. So we also have vendors in the hall as well. We've got some people that are coming from out of town that are bringing stuff in. Sherwood Games, Dragonwick Embroidery, Warlord Games, of course, will have stuff there as well. So we've got about 6 vendors if you want to come in and check them out. We also have the Oklahoma Board Game Club. They've got a large cart that is just filled with nothing but board games. So if you want to come in and it's like, oh, okay, I'm having to wait for a session to start up because we have some GMs that they've got slated times that they're going to be there. Mm-hmm. So you might say, okay, I've got some time to kill. Oh, Oklahoma Board Game Club has a game over here we can get played real quick while we're waiting. They'll have open tables. So you can just grab a board game, play a game real quick while you're waiting for your game to start up.
I think it's really cool that this convention's not come in with your own stuff and sit with your 5 friends, but you're encouraging fellowship, maybe making new friends and trying new games that you've never tried before. And for even if it's $20 a day, that's really, really cheap. For all you have to do is bring yourself and your mask, right?
For a day of entertainment.
Yeah. With what we're doing, we're hoping that we're even building the gaming community even more here within Oklahoma with what we're doing. There's so many different things out there that we can be playing. People that always talk about, there's Warhammer 40K, or there's Warhammer. But there's also Bolt Action, which is World War II based. Hail Caesar, which is the Romans and the Egyptians. Pike and Shot, which is English Civil War. Black Powder, which goes American Civil War and the American War of Revolution, Revolutionary War. The latest that we came out with for Black Powder from Warlord Games was the Korea expansion. And John Russell, who's going to be there, he's the North American representative for Warlord Games. Him and Steve Smith actually wrote that book. So if you show up and say if you're a Bolt Action player and you happen to have that book and you want it autographed, John will be there to autograph it for you.
That's cool.
For futuristic, we have Beyond the Gates of Antares. And it's a little bit different take than how they do 40K and whatnot. We use a 10-sided die, and best thing to do on that is to roll low, which you would think for me with the weekend. Scott, you've seen how I roll. Rolling low would be good, but for some reason when I play that game, I always roll high. So the dice just hate me.
Oh boy,
that's the way it is. Hey, can you say what we said? It's this weekend, but someone might see this 2 years from now. So if you would say exactly when it is and what the year it is.
It's Twisted Lords Con 2. It's our second one. It is the 24th, 25th, and 26th of July at the Reed Center there in Midwest City, Oklahoma. Games that we have going on. What we have going on, we've got Blood Red Skies, Gates of Antares, Bolt Action, Flames of War, Black Seas. We have a History of Warfare demos. We have a guy, he's going to sit there, he's going to go through the different ages using different games, running demos, basically from the start of the Romans and Egyptians all the way up through. Mortal Gods, Team Yankee's going to be there. Strontium Dog, which if any of you are familiar with Judge Dredd, and we will have Judge Dredd there as well too, because Judge Dredd came out, I believe, this year, brand new from Warlord Games.
That's cool.
I've seen the mini.
Now we have had we do have our schedule out there on the website. Some things have been subject to change. We've had one of our individuals end up having hernia surgery. So when he was supposed to run a couple of games, he's not going to be able to make it. The virus that can't be named has also cost us one of our vendors that we normally have come in. The folks from Kernels and Candies right here within Oklahoma City, they normally bring in their popcorn and their fudge, and they've been a hit every year. However, the owner of the store, normally he worked with his wife and 2 other people. Well, his wife has a job now full-time, so she can't get free to work the store. He can't get free to work from the store, and the other 2 people we hired both tested positive for COVID-19 for the what we can't mention. So they've had to withdraw. So yeah.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
But we're still hoping to have a lot of people show up and have a lot of fun.
Well,
the thing we want to do is we want to have a lot of fun.
I will tell a story from before I was like going to like these cons to play games. I went to, I think it was, I don't know the official name for it, but it was basically Chicago Comic-Con or whatever. It was right before my first child was born, like 2007. I went up to play a big HeroClix tournament, but I had them. It was not Adepticon. It was the other, like WizardCon. I think this is back when the WizardCons were around. Right. But what I actually got from that was there was a lot of gaming companies there that demoed the game, and I was shocked at how many games I ended up liking. And I really think that was maybe the birth of me finding other games besides like HeroClix and stuff to play. I got to try these games out. Some of them gave you like free entry into like a tournament. And I remember I won a tournament, which won me a set of the stuff so I could start playing at home. It was a really fun time. And those guys, everybody I've ran into, at least these cons, are really good teachers because they want people to play games with them. So they're very patient and kind, and they'll happily teach you how to play these games properly. So if you're sitting at home and want something to do because you've been in the house, grab your hand sanitizer, grab your mask, and take advantage of this, because that's really cheap for a lot of entertainment. You pay $15 to go watch a movie and, another 10 to get a Coke and some popcorn. So you'll be entertained, and it is a fun experience. So I would encourage it.
One of the vendors that we have that's coming in, they were nice enough. They donated 96 individual-sized bottles of hand sanitizer. So we have 96 swag bags that we put together to hand out to our attendees when they come in, and there is an individual bottle of hand sanitizer in there.
Hey, it's worth it for that alone.
There's also in there a coupon from our local game store, Game HQ. They put in a $5 coupon. You can use at their store.
Games HQ,
also for
it's a good shout.
Some of the games that we are played out there require that you use a ruler, and normally measuring stuff out is 6 inches. And Litco Games or Litco Gaming Accessories has provided us with rulers that we've also put into the bags individually.
That's awesome. So you get free cool stuff with your entry. So it's I mean, that's awesome, dude.
We try to do what we can to make it worth your while.
That's really great, man. And you're going to set up Thursday, but the actual doors open Friday morning. Is that correct?
Actual doors open up, I believe, Friday at noon. At noon. So people are still traveling in. We have to make sure our game masters get in there so they can get their stuff, get to their table, get their stuff set up and whatnot. The bolt action tournament that we have, round 1 of it starts on Friday night, and then rounds 2 and 3 are on Saturday. And the reason that we do that is there are people that go to a convention and their tournament that they're in is just on that one day, and they spend all that one day during that tournament. And it's like, okay, once they're done, something they may have wanted to play may already be gone. And so what we do, us having it set up that way, you come in for the weekend, we still give you a chance that, hey, if there's something you wanted to play, something you want to try out, they're still there so that you can do that.
Sure. That's good. That's awesome, man.
Cool. So if someone is interested in this, you can go to twistedlordscon.com. Is there anything else that you want to add, Tony?
We're hoping to see a lot of people out there. Understand that there may be concerns with what's going on right now, but we're doing all we can to try to make it as safe an environment as possible. So we are taking that into account.
Well, Tony, I would encourage, as a guy who's run Blood Bowl tournaments that started off very small and then got smaller before they started getting bigger, and then like having great numbers and stuff. Just keep doing it. Being a presence and being consistent is such a big deal, and it sounds like you guys are on the right track. And I really commend you for giving this a shot. It sounds like you're going to be happy. I mean, of course, you want a whole bunch of people there, but it sounds like you love this. And you want it to go on, whether there's 80 people there or 180. So that's the right formula to these things. And, good luck with everything this weekend, man.
Thank you very much.
One more time, please tell everyone what your deal is to the viewers of this episode.
If you come into the convention and you say that you saw me on the Taskforce Geek podcast, I will give you the pre-registration price to register. So if you want to come in for a weekend pass or you want to come in for a day pass, say you saw me, Tony Radford, on Taskforce Geek, and I will give you that price.
Or you could just say Scott Prime is a handsome older gentleman, and that will work too.
So you can lie.
You can lie.
And hey, Scott, along with your wrestling game, you and Steve need to figure out a way that you can demo Blood Bowl to get people involved in that. Because if you can figure out a way to demo that, we could get more people built up in our league.
Yeah, that is the difficult task, and I don't know if it's just lack of me not being confident as a good teacher, or maybe I'm not
a wrestling game. Come on, you're a good teacher.
All right. Well, maybe it's just lack of confidence and stuff. Some people, man, have a really knack of like. I mean, they're in it for like. I hate teaching my friends board games, let alone like something else. But some people are really good and thrive in that environment and stuff. And
I have to admit,
you're probably right. Obviously, if everything that is happening in the world today wasn't, and I didn't have my kids this weekend, I would love to be there to really get some. A Super Show would be a great game to, really showcase in a place like that. It's a very quick game. You can catch people in between games. So I totally agree with you on that. And, you guys are going to be around next year, so hopefully the world will have changed next year too. So
and kids 12 and under get in for free. So Scott, if you're needing something to do with some of the kids,
I got you.
Game wise,
I got you. That's awesome. That's good to know.
All right, one last time, it's twistedlordscon.com if you're interested in learning about this stuff, and it's this weekend. What's the date again, please?
Dates are the 24th, 25th, 26th. At the Reed Center, Sheridan Reed Center, Midwest City, Oklahoma.
Cool.
That's really close. That's close if you're in Oklahoma. That's easy to get to.
Real close, easy to get to.
So just say Scott Prime's a handsome older gentleman, and you get $5 off. It's a bargain, man.
Tony, thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for inviting me. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you. I hope you guys have a wonderful day.
Have a good night. And let us know about the weekend once all this is done.
Yeah, we want to know.
Somehow let us communicate with us and let us know about this. So
we want to know.
That I'll do.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you. Have a nice night.
Thank you. You too.
Until next time, dream hard.